Alright guys, really quickly forgot one thing. We can write these two procedures as encryption and decryption in a mathematical way by doing by saying that the ciphertext is equal to encrypting plain text with the key. And at the same time, the plain text is going to be equal to the decryption of the ciphertext and the key. Just a small thing I forgot to add. And so this is it, the basics of encryption. Let's dig in with the next topic. All right. Next topic is going to be the two first encryption algorithms ever invented, which are Caesar Cipher, Caesar, and then Vigenere. Visionnaire, where does the accent go? I don't know. So, guess what? Guess why this was called Caesar Cipher? Because Caesar, the Roman emperor, used to use it to send secret messages to his politicians, general, army people, whoever it was. What does the Caesar cipher consist of? So let's take a word like, let's see, chair. And now that I have chair, I'm going to encrypt it using Caesar cipher. So what Caesar cipher consisted of was using three shifts to change this from the plain text into a ciphertext. So we're gonna look again. Do you remember the most simple encryption? The process of encryption cipher, right? So this is gonna be the plain text. We're gonna feed him into Caesar cipher. We're gonna get a ciphertext, and we're gonna have a key. Now, one particular thing about the Caesar cipher is that the key is always 3. Okay? And how does this algorithm works? It works by shifting the letters of the alphabet 3 steps down. Why 3? Because at the ancient times, first of all, the people that they had to hide the messages from were pretty literate and weren't so analytical, I guess. And so this was enough to hide messages. Let me just write the alphabet here really quick, just so I can explain you better. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, J, K, L, M, N, O. T, O, and Z. So each of these letters represent the alphabet. So if you want to encrypt this one using Caesar cipher, we're gonna take each letter one by one and step 3 times. So C is gonna become 1, 2, 3. It's gonna become F. H, which is right here, we step 3 times, is gonna become 1, 2, 3. It's gonna become K. A is gonna be 1, 2, 3. D. I, which is right here, is gonna be 1, 2, 3. And R finally is gonna be 1, 2, 3, which is gonna be U. If we had a Y, we would simply wrap around and start from ABC. Now this is our ciphertext. If I would hand a piece of paper with this written on, people would have no idea what it means. But during the Roman times, they knew that if it was a message from Caesar to decrypt it using this certain cipher. And so from here, I'm not gonna draw the whole decryption thing, but we're gonna do the opposite. So step up 3 times, we get the C, we get the H, etc., etc. This is Caesar cipher, okay? It's the most basic ancient form of encryption ever created, right? So how can we step up the security? Obviously this is very weak because literally with my mind I can just, you know, think about 3 letters before and decrypt it by hand. So how can we make this a little bit more secure? Still weak because I can kind of, well, we're gonna see how to break formally these encryptions, but let's make it a little bit more secure. What if instead of using always 3, now we introduce this concept of key, and now K can be any number, can be 11, it can be 22, etc., etc. And now if this is 11, we're gonna encrypt it again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and etc., etc., etc. Just you guys get the point. So this means that both parties, a person that receives this message needs to know the key, needs to know the number 11 to shift it 11 times. If not, they won't be able to trace back the letters. So this is Caesar cipher, the very first and basic encryption algorithm. Let's move on. Let's move to the Vigenere cipher. This was, what does the book say, 1600s. When was this? Let me just see if I can peek to the right. Yeah, 16th century. Writing so bad. 16th century, Visionnaire Cipher. Now, there's a little bit of a, how can I say, contradiction, a bit of a thing where it's not actually Vigenere, the French guy who invented it, an Italian guy, and you know, but that's another story. Who cares? Well, who cares? You know, who cares? Let's go through the Visionnaire cipher. Now, it's really, now we're still gonna encrypt chair. This is a short word. It's good for this example. We're still gonna encrypt it, and we're gonna get something. And we're still gonna swap words. Now, these the reason why I'm doing them in pair is because they both consist on shifting letters, right? Now, the key difference and why this one was more secure, obviously nothing crazy secure, but much more secure than relatively, compared to the Caesar cipher, is that the Vigenere introduces a more complex key. So we can have a key of DUH, for example. This is what the DUH. So how does this encryption work? Let's call it Vigenere. Vigenere. Voila. How does the encryption work? Well, we take the key and we see that the key is 3 letters, right? D-U-H. We just simply transform the letters into numbers by looking at if this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay? This is basically 3, 20, and 7. Okay? It's 3 numbers. This means that we're gonna take the first letter of our plain text, and we're gonna shift it 3 times, just like the Caesar cipher. So C, 1, 2, 3 becomes F. Okay? Now H, instead of being encrypted by this key, so being substituted by this key, is gonna go to this. So it's gonna use 20. So let's do H 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. It's gonna be B. Then same thing with A, 7, because now we did this, 7. So the A is gonna shift 7 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now we have an H. And then we did this 3, we go back to the I, so obviously we circle back to the D and I, we move it 3 spots, 1, 2, 3 is L, and then the R, we did this, we move to the next key, 20 times, so R, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 20. We're gonna have a K. Okay, so this is our ciphertext. Encrypted using the Visionnaire Cipher and using a key of the UH. Now you see that now let's talk about how we break those. Let me think. To break a Caesar cipher, we can just take the ciphertext and literally try every possible number. We can try shifting everything by 1, shifting everything by 2, shifting everything by 3. Actually, let me rewrite the example I did before. This is Vigenere and this is Caesar, chair, and then this is, well, let's take 3 as a key because it's easy to compute for this example, but we don't, you know, the key can be anything. And then you see it was F, I'm gonna just do it fast, I might even do it wrong. It was H, 1, 2, 3, K. And then A, 1, 2, 3, D. And then I, 1, 2, 3, L. And R, 1, 2, 3, U. Whatever, just I want to do it fast. Now, here we can try all the possible shifts. Imagine we only have this, we don't know everything. We have this part. Now we can try shifting everything back by 1. If we shift everything back by 1, we're gonna have so let's try here with 1. We're gonna have E, we're gonna have E, J, C, K, and T. So this still doesn't make sense. So let's try shifting it 2 times and we compute it. Doesn't make sense. Now let's try shifting it 3 times. Oh, chair comes out. That's a Latin, that's a dictionary word. That's probably the original message. Now this is the logic to break a Caesar cipher very easily by a technique called brute force, because we're literally brute forcing, we're trying every possible combination. If this key was 11, then we would call 4, 5, 6 until we get to 11, right? That's the approach to break. Now this is not feasible with more not feasible because then we'll have to try with the key of A, we'll have to try with the key of AA, we'll have to try with the key of AAA, we'll have to try with the key of AAAAA. We don't know if, you know, we don't know how long is the key. We just know this piece of data, right? We don't know how long was the key. We don't know how many letters were in the key, if it was ABA or AAAB or ZX, you know what I mean? We don't know. So it's much more different, a bit more difficult to do a brute force attack on Visionnaire Cipher because we introduce more complexity into the key. And keep in mind, guys, we're talking about pre-computer eras, so times in history. So obviously for a computer it's going to be trivial to try to shift all the letter by Caesar, and really easy also to try a few combinations of letters, right? Because the computer can do this really fast. But we're talking about pre-computer era, and so this was very resilient at the time if you think about it. And so these two are the Caesar cipher and the Vigenere cipher, older pre-computer encryption algorithms. You see we have a plain text, a cipher, a key, and a ciphertext, right? We're following what we defined before as encryption. That's how it works. Now in the next video, we're gonna talk a bit more on how to break those, and then I'm gonna introduce the topic of permutability, and we're gonna dig in a little bit more. Now that we know this, we're gonna dig into a little bit more of what an encryption algorithm consists of. Thank you for watching. Thumbs up. Help me out, and yep, see you soon.